if you can just imagine that the whole of this machine here is just energy, and it's like it works on a permission. It needs to have a permission. It's a yes and no. It's a permission slip. It's either yes or it's no. If it's a no, it gives you a finger. It doesn't move. It doesn't open. The cave is closed. If it's a yes, it just opens on its own. But the yes is given, the permission is given through the space holding. This energy container needs to feel safe energetically. If it doesn't feel safe, there is nothing I can do, there is nowhere I can touch it that will open it. It simply doesn't, it's a permission. It's like a energetic, and this is why I say 90% of this job is I really need to somehow, and this is the skill of the giver. I'm the one who creates the space that she will then decide or choose whether to give a permission or not. And it's not a mental thing for her, it's not a conscious thing. It's a subconscious, energetic, emotional thing, the permission, whether the switch is turned on or off. So she doesn't really, it's not a head thing. She's not like lying there looking at me thinking, oh no, I'm going to open, now I'm going to close. No.
That's also when you ask questions. I'm not in my head, I'm in my body. So when you ask me questions, for instance, with the hand, I'm like, you're speaking Chinese, I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So the skill of the giver is really to go from the head into the body. And so this is the permission. The reason she gives me permission is because I permit her to open. And the way I permit her is by opening myself. So I become her, and I'm like a signpost, like a torch. I'm the permission that she feels, and then she automatically becomes me and gives permission, because she copies by, it's like resonance. When I'm, because if I approach her like this and I come here and I'm like this, the permission that I give is tighten up, get angry. That's the permission. There is no permission for anything else. So she will only have a possibility, or will be invited into a strong possibility to return anger and tension. So because I come as a permission of open container, conductive, fluid, loving, safe, that she starts resonating. I invite that energy into her. It's like extending hand, come join me into this permission. And then she becomes that, and that allows her to go underneath her conscious into the unconscious, and then to start opening whatever she's opening. So these permissions are unspoken, invisible, but they're very visible to a trained eye. Nothing is hidden. If you have the feeling, you feel it. If you can see it, you see it. So, but it's all, I call it permission, but actually it's resonance. I resonate, openness, safety, trust, and then I invite her, I kind of open that field to her, and then she has a choice. She can either say yes or no. And if she says no, then I want to adjust myself and tune my radio station to a different frequency, resonance, that she will respond to and say yes. So that's the skill of me. And the skill of her is to actually want to do it. If she doesn't want to open, there is nothing I can do that will kind of open her. She's either ready and willing or not. That's her job. My job is to give her permission, to invite her into open. So, any more questions?
So I hear that as leading by example. You're
the
vibration, she matches in resonance to the vibration because you showed it to her by your touch.
Yes. So, but the first part is I put my hand somewhere and I identify there is something there. Like we both agreed that there was armor there. There was something. It was an active point. And then I go into allowing chamber, if you like, into resonance of the permission to relax, invite her in, and then the choosing process starts, whether she says yes or no.
Do you know what it is?
Huh?
Do you know what it is? I mean, the problem, the
No.
armor.
No, I'm not interested. I'm only interested in energy. I don't care about the story. That's a marionette. I'm not interested because that's not. It's a veil. That's another ego. It's another explanation, another idea, another attachment, another human fucking drama.
Because she explained it as another layer. So
Yeah.
is she aware in that moment?
I don't know.
No.
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 It's just energy.
No.
Because as soon as she starts acting it, I invite her to stop and just focus on the energy, on the actual experience of life there and then. So that's not a story, because story happened God knows where about God knows what, which is not important. The only thing that is important is the actual energy right here, right now, which is what we're working with. So if you can just release that, the story just goes.
And when you have clients, what is important is, does it change their lives? So when they come next time, did something change?
Yeah.
So I never ask for this. It's not interesting for me, all the stories. It's blah, blah, blah. It's not. Yeah.
Do you ever?
Sometimes I do know. I was in contact with a very old wound in my mother's womb this New Year. So no, maybe there's something there, but it's not.
Even this is not clear what it is.
Exactly.
Yeah.
How would you actually do with a client that is coming with a story, right?
The same, exactly the same. I would explain them at the beginning that I don't work with stories. I'm not interested in a story. But this is not what I do. If you want a story, don't go to a psychologist or someone that deals with stories. I'm not there for that. And I explain why, and I cannot give them a mini training. And then we just lie down and we see what's going to happen.
So when you ask, how can I help you?
Yeah.
What do they answer?
They tell me, I'm here because, I don't know, I had something happen to me when I was young and blah, blah, blah. And I said, okay, great. So where do you feel it in your body? Well, it's kind of around here. What does it feel like? Well, it feels like, but just tell me, describe it. Can you like go there and tell me what it feels like? If I put my finger here, can I just like, what do you feel? And so we just forget the story and go immediately into energetics.
And then the integration is
This is the integration.
just staying without talking.
Sometimes talking, but integration doesn't really happen with talking. Integration happens energetically, like they need to go home, and they need to go to sleep, and they need to relax the body, and then the energy starts going. Integration and like movement and adjustments, and then then when the thing is released, then it will also release the wisdom of what actually, like, something happened. And it was held for a long time. And then when it releases, through the integration time, this will integrate into their life. It will become new them. And not intuitively, they will, next time they find themselves in the same situation, they will react differently.
Yes.
Because now it's a different energetic. So the outer world is just a mirror of what happens on the inside. So if the inside is like this, the outside will reflect this. When the inside goes like this, the outside, when a similar situation happens, will mirror this. Now, new one. So the wisdom will be released through the time of integration. They don't need to know what the wisdom is. It will just become apparent through act of life. Through the test of time, they will become a different person. They simply won't have reactions they used to have. They won't have triggers they used to have. They'll just find themselves like, oh, I don't react like that anymore. It's a feminine way of, like, through time, the ground just becomes different. The ground that they walk on is different because this is realigned in a different way. Automatically, I mean, it needs some integration time because this is a slow machine. The 3D is quite dense, so it takes time to form. So, because the ground looked like this, after integration, the ground will look like this. And then when they walk on it, it's just different ground. They don't have to try, they don't have to pretend, they don't have to do something more to be different. They literally will be different because the ground is now different. It's super simple, super normal magic, but that's how it works.
Yeah, I understand.
Yeah, cool.
I experienced that they like to understand and then go to the story,
Yeah,
and then I find myself going with them.
Mm.
I
with the
totally
story.
totally get it. And like I was the same until I learned this last year. And then afterwards, like, what the fuck am I doing? I'm just literally not helping them. They're not helping me either. So now, just like live your life. And then let's see.
Staying longer with the energetics, no, and
Hmm.
if they ask like, "What the fuck just happened?" I just stay there.
I tell them that the answer is contained in a question. Something fucking happened. You know? Something happened. And let's just live and see what happened. But it really will take time for the ground. You need to understand this principle that the inner and outer reflection doesn't happen instantaneously. Because if it did happen instantaneously, just imagine the world we would live in if my mind, my thought would manifest instantly. I mean, there would be fucking chaos in the world. There would be like people murdered, pink elephants running, like it's just like whatever you think is nuts. So if this was manifested instantly, there would just be like a reality that is not livable. So there is a delay time. There is like inertia. So I need to think about something for a while and focusly think about it for the 3D to start magnetizing itself to it and become crystallized 3D reality. So when something changes in the crystallized 3D reality through the process like this, here it happens relatively fast, within a few hours or whatever, half an hour happened. But the her will take some time to go from her 3D reality into the field and to reset the literal ground that she exists in.